Today, we take a closer look at fiber-coupled laser light sources. Valued for their excellent beam quality, these sources are an important component to unlock the toolbox of fiber optics. This video discusses the principles and challenges involved in building such a device, and will provide some rare close-up views of the coupling region and beam profile. So let's start with some basics right away. A naive approach to fiber coupling is to place the fiber directly against a bright light source. After all, high-power LEDs are widely available today, but the graphic already reveals that most of the light misses the fiber core, making this wildly inefficient. This can be confirmed in practice with a little experiment. A high-power LED is put directly to the end of a multi-mode fiber, and the output is observed on a screen. The LED is set up to emit roughly 1 watt of optical power. Only a tiny fraction is transferred into the fiber, with an estimated output of less than 1 milliwatt. For a single-mode fiber at this wavelength, the coupling efficiency would even be 200 times lower than this because its core is much smaller compared to the 50 micrometer core of the multi-mode fiber shown here. Unfortunately, this cannot be significantly improved for diffuse emitters such as LEDs. Optical fibers only accept light that enters the core and lies within a limited acceptance angle. With optical components like lenses, one can trade focal spot size against beam divergence, but it is impossible to reduce both simultaneously without losing light. With laser emitters, the situation is different, as their beams can be focused to extremely small spots with very high power density. The image shows a simple coupling scheme using a single aspheric lens. While this does not achieve the highest coupling efficiency, it offers a good trade-off between performance and simplicity and serves as the basis for the modules presented in this video. Comparing the beam profile of a typical laser diode with that of a single-mode optical fiber, the differences become apparent. The fiber outputs a clean circular Gaussian beam. In contrast, the laser diode shows an elliptical intensity profile. For efficient coupling, the profile of the light source must match that of the fiber as closely as possible. While a single lens cannot circularize the beam, choosing an appropriate lens distance allows the source to be matched reasonably well to the acceptance, cone, and core diameter of the fiber on average. In summary, the lens images the tiny elliptical aperture of the laser diode onto the core of the fiber end, decreasing the divergence angle to match the fiber mode as best as possible. Positioning and fixing the focal point precisely on the fiber core to maximize coupling efficiency is one of the main challenges of this project. For precise alignment, the open micromanipulator is used. While the device can easily achieve the precision required to align a single-mode fiber to the focal spot, permanently fixing the fiber in the chosen position turned out to be far more difficult than expected. The industry standard for fixing actively aligned optical components is UV curable adhesive. It hardens within seconds when illuminated with UV light, keeping processing times low. The main challenge, however, is shrinkage during the curing process, which can pull the fiber away from its desired position. Even optical adhesives exhibit shrinkage of around 4%. While near-zero shrinkage adhesives are available, they are expensive and difficult to source. Relying on them would make the design brittle and unsuitable for an open-source project like this. To illustrate the shrinkage of a common, readily available UV adhesive, we can perform a simple experiment that makes the effect visible to the naked eye. As you can imagine, this amount of movement poses a serious problem for the application at hand. A 0.1 mm adhesive gap can already shrink by approximately 5 micrometers. To make the design more robust against misalignment caused by shrinkage during curing, the module includes a 2D fine adjustment mechanism. It is used to compensate for errors caused by the adhesive and allows the fiber core to be brought back into focus after the adhesive has set. The mechanism uses a pin that is permanently fixed to the case. The fiber is attached to this pin, which acts as a flexure, allowing radial movement in two directions while maintaining high stiffness. Two bearing balls sit in holes in the main body and contact the pin from below at a 120-degree angle. The height of each ball can be independently adjusted using a small M2 grub screw. Although being simple, this design is very compact and highly effective. The main body also allows the lens to be positioned freely to adapt the beam divergence to different fiber types and laser diode models. Let's take a look at the CNC machining process for the module body, which is made from brass using a CAM program created in FreeCAD. With the main body machined, we can now assemble the fine adjustment mechanism. First, the grub screws are inserted. Note that the threads were cut using only 2 of the 3 taps in the set, resulting in a deliberately tight thread fit. The adjustment pin is now permanently bonded in place using a suitable adhesive. The grub screws were adjusted to apply a small amount of preload. The mechanism is now complete and ready to accept the optical components. We start by pressing the laser diode into its designated pocket. A 3D printed tool helps to keep the diode properly oriented and makes the process much easier. The next step is installing the focusing lens. The exact model I used is shown in the image. An aspheric optic is required to achieve a sufficiently small beam waist for good coupling efficiency. The lens was positioned by hand in its designated groove off camera so that the focal spot is located approximately at the end of the adjustment pin and slightly above it. Once properly positioned, it can be bonded in place with a small amount of UV adhesive. Here you can see the setup used for aligning and attaching the fiber to the laser module. It consists of an aluminum baseplate, the open micro manipulator, and a camera module with suitable magnification mounted on a flexible arm. Both devices are connected to a computer via USB and are controlled using the open micro manipulator user interface. Before one end of the fiber can be attached to the module, it must first be prepared. The process begins by removing the protective coating with fiber optic stripping pliers, exposing the bare glass fiber underneath. The stripped section is then cleaned with isopropyl alcohol to remove any remaining coating or residue. Finally, a fiber optic cleaver is used to create a smooth, clean end face, suitable for efficient light coupling. You can now observe the fiber being temporarily bonded to a brass rod mounted on the end effector of the micro manipulator. Again, UV adhesive is used. The fiber is now attached and ready for precise alignment with the laser module. The fiber is now roughly positioned at the laser's focal point, while monitoring for any light emerging from the other end of the fiber. This may take a bit of trial and error, since light is only coupled in when the core is illuminated. Once first light has been found, the real-time mouse control feature is used to further optimize the coupling strength. This is done by moving the 3D position of the fiber end until the light output is maximized as much as possible. Since it is quite difficult to see what is happening at this scale, we can take a closer look at the beam and fiber alignment through specially captured microscope footage. To reveal the beam shape, a small amount of fog was introduced into the beam path. What you see here is a close-up of the focal region. Looking carefully, the beam waist characteristic of a Gaussian beam becomes visible. In this shot, one can observe how small the focal spot needs to be for efficient coupling into the tiny core of the 125 micrometer fiber. The correct axial position is reached when the air-glass interface of the fiber end face lies at the beam waist, where the wavefront is planar and the energy density is highest. Once the fiber has been properly aligned, it can be bonded in place with the UV adhesive. In the example shown, the 405 nanometer laser diode must be turned off beforehand, as it would otherwise cure the adhesive almost instantly and uncontrollably. For other wavelength, the laser diode can stay on during the process, allowing for some additional correction after the adhesive has been applied. With the fiber fixated, it can be detached from the micromanipulator by carefully breaking the bond on the end effector rod. As a final step, a protective sleeve is fitted and a strain relief adhesive joint is applied to absorb bending and pulling forces near the termination point. A 3D printed cover shields the optics from the environment. Turning on the device produces no light output at first. As expected, curing the adhesive misaligned the fiber vertically and prevents any light reaching the fiber core. Fortunately, we can compensate by carefully turning the adjustment screws until maximum output power is achieved again. We have now successfully finished building our custom fiber-coupled laser module. Despite the tight tolerances required, the module has been mechanically stable for over a month now. If any drift is observed, the module can be easily readjusted in future. In addition to general fiber optic applications, the 405 nanometer module shown is a promising light source for direct write lithography, which I plan to explore in future projects. The clean Gaussian beam can be focused very effectively through a microscope objective, producing a tiny, well-defined circular spot with minimal stray light and diffraction artifacts.